Hello all, welcome back to my channel Gateway to Computer Science. Today's topic of discussion is Introduction to Operating System. If you are new to my channel, I would request you to please subscribe to my channel and do like and share this video. Without any further delay, let's continue with today's topic of discussion. So, we'll understand what operating system is. It is the interface between user and hardware. What do you mean by that? You are a user or you are running any application. You want to access to hardware, that is you want to access to computer or hardware such as CPU, printer, mouse, etc. So operating system acts as an intermediary between user and hardware. So you are the user and you are using some application. You want to access to CPU. For example, if you're performing any operation by double clicking, what is usually happening for you? It seems simple, like you're just double clicking and any of your action is taking place, such as like opening of file or closing of file or printing of file. But behind this, the actual role is placed by operating system. Some system call is actually executed, because of which you have access to your hardware. So that's how you're able to access the hardware with the help of operating system. Operating system is the interface between user and hardware. That is, it acts as an intermediary between the application, or that is the user, and the hardware to access devices such as CPU, input-output devices, printer, etc. We have various examples of operating systems such as Windows operating system. Nowadays you can see most of your laptops which are using nowadays, the computer systems has Windows operating system. Apart from that, Linux is also used in some of the computers, and all the Apple devices, the Macintosh operating system is used in all the Apple devices. So these are the examples of operating system. The next question that comes into our mind is, why operating system? What would happen if we would not have an operating system? So what would happen is, whenever the user wanted to access to any of the hardware system, it would have to write a separate lines of code for accessing each and every hardware. Now what happens is, basically, if you want to access if you want to perform any of the operation, what you do, you just double click and you will be able to open the file, or with the help of some dialog boxes or user interface, you will be closing, you'll be performing various operations. But what would happen if you would not have operating system? In order to open the file also, the user would have to write a separate line of code. In order to close also, or any other operation to be performed, user would have to write every time the lines of code separately. So this was one thing what would happen if there was no operating system. Apart from that, each device would require different program, and user would have to provide instructions to each device, writing a separate program, and the user would have to give instruction and invoke the hardware device to perform certain operations. And apart from that, if one user was using a hardware, the other user would not be able to access the same hardware. So that would be a problem if we would not have an operating system. What are the major goals of operating system? Why is it that operating system was used majorly? It was in order to provide convenience to the user. For example, now see, because of operating system, if we want to perform any of the operations, we just have to double click, or just have to give the instruction to perform certain operations. What if there was no operating system? You would have to write separate, like, long lines of code. That was in order to provide convenience to the user. That was one of the major goal of operating system. Apart from that, efficiency. For example, if we had operating system, if it was not efficient, if it would have many of problems with it, then it would not be convenient for user to use it. So that was one of the goal of operating system. Apart from that, maximum throughput. What is throughput? Number of tasks performed per unit time. So providing maximum throughput means the operating system would be used to its maximum. It could be used efficiently, and it could be used, like, maximum amount of tasks could be performed within limited amount of time. That was the goal of operating system. That was how operating system was brought into picture, and it was used by wide number of users. Next, we'll be talking about various functions of operating system. We'll not be able to cover all the detailed explanation of how the operating system is actually playing a role in each of these functions, but that will be discussing in the further videos. I'll be telling you the overview of what is actually happening. So first is resource management. So that means basically allocating the resources to different processes. How different processes are allocated with different resources at different times. So that is one of the function of operating system, that is resource management. Then comes process management. How CPU is one of the resource. How CPU is assigned a process for its execution. How various processes are given different resources or CPU for its execution. So that is another function where operating system plays a major role. Then comes storage management. How the files are stored in operating system, what are the different file attributes, what are the different allocation methods, everything will be discussing under storage management. Then comes memory management. So what happens is we will be having limited amount of RAM, then we will be having n number of processes for execution. So we can't execute all the processes at once. What we will do is, with the help of swapping, we will be executing one process at one time or multiple processes at one time according to the storage capacity of CPU. And even in the secondary storage, you will be having limited amount of space. How memory is managed in the whole system is again a function of operating system. Then comes security and privacy. Only authenticated user will be able to use the operating system. Like in a computer, you will be having various users, right? User 1, user 2, and with help of your passwords only you will be able to log into the computer system. So that is providing you security and privacy as well. And then if one process is getting executed, the other process cannot come in between, or it should not interfere with the execution of one process. This is another function. Our next video will be on types of operating system. If you have understood the content and find it useful, please like and share the video. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now. Have a nice day.